Good morning. Okay, we should be live. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Dennis isn't going to be here with us today. He's still playing Army. And Bill's back, though. Bill's feeling a little bit better, so that's good news. And Steve hadn't killed himself yet, so we're good there, too.
I woke up breathing this morning, so it was a good day.
It's always a good day.
So anyway, I don't know of any subject that we got today, but I was telling Steve I panicked this morning when I realized, or I thought I realized, that the kind of team build we were going to do with Brian and Vinny on Vinny's channel, I think it's going to be on Vinny's channel. I thought it was last night, and I completely forgot about it. So I was panicking and apologizing to Brian and stuff about missing it. But he let me know it's next Friday, so it's the 10th.
Mark your calendar. Set a reminder.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a note right here on my desk so I can remember, because I don't want to miss that.
Good morning, everybody.
Anyway, yeah, it's good to see everybody.
Yeah, we got a lot.
Who's here, Steve?
Oh boy, we got Allison. Good morning, Allie. Bernard, Rob T-Man, Digger, Dave DES Multimedia. We got Uncle Wilmer. Good morning, Uncle Wilmer. And we've got Rob. Did I say Rob? Rob T-Man. We got John, Grandpa Rails, and I think that's it in chat.
Bernard.
I think I said Bernard. I always say Bernard. He's my biggest fan.
Okay.
Bernard's everybody's biggest fan.
I think Bernard's my biggest fan.
Anyway, I was telling Brian a little while ago, I was chatting with him, and when I was apologizing to him, but I told him that the sale ended up rounding up about $1,200 I'll be able to give to her. So Roy Hardwick was a big part of that. I don't think he's in here yet.
Yeah.
But he made a really good offer on the layout and stuff. And so all the stuff that didn't sell, not all the stuff, but like all the rolling stock and all that stuff that nobody bid on and stuff, I just threw it in with his.
Yeah.
Because he was very generous offer for that. So
yeah, it was a good deal.
Appreciate everybody, and I know she will. I've already told her that she's got some money coming her way, but she doesn't know how much yet. So I'm going to try and get that on video. May take my wife over there with me and let her film it while I tell her how much she's getting. So, because I know she wasn't expecting anything at all, and now she's thinking, well, I'm going to get a few dollars out of this, but she doesn't have any idea how much I got. So that's a good thing. Anyway, what do you guys do?
I don't know. Bernard, I like that nickname. He asked if I was gonna show Little John fired up. I like that nickname, Little John. I think I'm gonna start calling it that.
I'm getting some.
I'm hearing
distortion in your mic, Steve.
Do what?
Getting some distortion in your mic. Is it just Steve's mic that's doing it? Does anybody else hear it?
I heard when Steve was talking, I heard it.
Yeah.
I don't hear it now.
No, don't hear it now.
I did.
Oh, well. Okay.
So, but, in answer to your question, Bernard, no, we're not going to fire it up this morning. Too many issues.
He's having a time with it. So.
Oh yeah, it's been fun. You solve one problem and you get three.
Yeah, we might do a live stream from Train Mountain when I get there. We'll have to see if the engine's ready by then. Then we might do that day.
Yeah, that might be the first time I fire it up, or not fire it up, but actually run it, depending if the steam gods cooperate.
So, Claude, you're going to Steam Mountain?
The Train Mountain, yeah.
Train Mountain? You're going?
I'm actually going to stop. We're going to stop for a couple of nights over there close to Train Mountain because it's about 2 hours from Steve's house. So we're going to stop over there and stay in a place for a couple of nights and take one day. I'm going to take one day to go there. And then we're going by Crater Lake on the way over to Grants Pass. And then we're going to stay in Grants Pass for 4 nights, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
So, and go
That'll
do
be a
some
fun
stuff.
trip.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I love road trips. So I'm looking forward to it.
He's catching the Tuesday after the Triennial.
Yeah.
So he's actually not going to the Triennial, which is actually the Triennial is kind of crazy anyway.
So
Yeah.
will you be? So Steve, will you be up there the whole time, or will you go back home?
I'll probably go straight from my house to Claude to meet Claude at which is about a half an hour from Train Mountain. So I'll meet him where he's staying, and then we'll go up on the Tuesday the 29th and spend the day up there.
28th.
28th. Why do I keep saying the 29th? Anyway, the 28th, and hopefully things will have quieted down and we can fire it up and maybe run it that day. I don't know. I'm a little leery of going to the Triennial with a locomotive that is questionable anyway, because there's probably right now 350 trains up there. So that it's just really crowded and I'm feeling a little uncomfortable running it. If it's even running by the Triennial, actually testing it during a big meet like that might be a problem, especially if I got a questionable throttle valve. Because if that thing fails up there, I get a runaway, and that might not be fun during a big meet. So I may not be going to the Triennial. I'm not sure. I'm kind of between the fuel prices. It's gonna. But I'm definitely going with Claude. So if we go up there, it would be fun to do a live stream of the first time it actually runs. It could be interesting.
We'll have to see if we can pull something like that off.
Yeah. Well, we did a live stream here once before, and it turned out pretty good.
Do you get a signal up there?
Yeah, they got a pretty decent Wi-Fi up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did that one live stream, and Chuck walked around a bunch of the yards and stuff and showing it while Steve was.
That came through really well. That was fun
that was a good show. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Chuck did a really good job of showing everything that was there close anyway.
Yeah, if nobody's seen it, go back and watch it, because that was a good show.
Where was that at?
That was like 2 hours.
It's on this channel. We did that, about a year ago?
Did it have a title?
Probably a little bit more, maybe.
Did it have a name to the stream? No?
Yeah, it was live from Train Mountain.
Oh, that's
Back
what
on
it's
track live from Train Mountain.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
It's about a 2-hour video.
Yeah, it was fun because Tim Parks brought his. Well, he had his already there, and he met us and fired up his mogul, and I had my switcher at that time, and we were over at the back shop firing that up, and Chuck was walking around videotaping the property while we were doing 2 different videos at the same time, and having Chuck there really helped a lot. That was really good.
Yeah.
And then it's really good.
He's going to be there. He's going to be there this time too.
Yeah, he's coming to try.
Chuck's planning on being down there too.
He got a membership, so he's able to stay there because you can only. Well, long story, but anyway, he got a membership so that he can bring his trailer down there and stay for a couple of days with a buddy of his.
Like an RV?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah,
But during the Triennial, they've got a campground called 6 Acres, and any other time you can bring a motorhome and park there. It's dry. They've got one water fountain and that's it. But and that's where I usually stay. But during the Triennial, they're not allowing any trailers there or tent trailers. It's strictly tent camping for the Triennial. And Chuck was bringing a trailer, so he had to get a membership so that he could park it down at the lower end of the facility. But, Yeah, on that video, when you do watch it later on, you're going to see a guy unloading a Pacific out of his van, and that's a really good friend of mine. His name is Fred Lisenby, and he's got a 1-ton GMC van that he puts his entire train in. It looks like a clown car. You know, it opens up and then just keeps coming out.
Huh.
Well,
I don't
he's
know
on
how.
that video.
Yeah, he puts. I mean, he's got his locomotive tender. I don't know. He's got like 5 or 6 cars and a caboose that all fit in this 1-ton van.
It's pretty
And
wild. He starts pulling it out, and it's like, man, where's that coming
And he
from?
can get the whole thing out of his van and set up in about an hour.
Is it like 2 decks in there?
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
multiple levels in it, and some of the cars stack on top of each other. And
Wow.
he's got enough room left over in the van that he can put his camping gear and his wife. So I don't know how he does it.
That's pretty cool.
It's nuts.
Well, Heath invaded us. He
There
wanted
goes
to know if somebody said clown car.
Hey, Heath.
Because I think he's actually a circus freak, is what I think it is.
I think so.
Anyway, yeah, that's pretty good. So what are you doing now, Bill? I saw your video you put up last night.
Yeah, so I've been working on. Here, I'll show you guys.
Yeah, you put up much more trees than you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got last night actually. After that video came out, I put up my 20-some trees that I'd made that hardly made a dent.
Make him bigger, Claude. We can see.
Making big. Well,
Yeah, so-
that's his wife's job, but you know,
Oh God! Don't go there.
she got to feed him. She got to feed him making big like my wife did me.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm on a diet. So anyway, this is where I've been working this week. I've actually put in stumps, and I can't see the picture, so I'm hoping you can see the stumps I put in.
Oh yeah.
We'll let the train go through first here.
Oh, that looks amazing, Bill.
There we go. So I've used, there's a dead bush that's out on the other side of my property line near like a retention pond. So I borrowed a bunch of branches from it, and I cut them in like little 1-inch stumps and planted them. And then I used the vinegar solution with a rusty nail put in it to kind of give a color so that I could kind of gray up the stump. So it looks like this has been cut, a few years back in the history of this little area here. And then right in there is the 20-some trees that I made over the past few weeks. So I've got them planted. I'm starting to do the ground cover in and around that area as well. So I'll take you around on the other side. I did a little bit more over there too. If I can kind of squeeze my butt through the garage. So it's going to go on the layout later today as I made a bunch of small pine trees. These I've got to do the haircut to them and then put static grass on them, but then these are going to go in scattered places on the layout. Then up over on this side, I've started to do the trees along the backdrop. I think this was in some of the other video that I just did. I got ground cover because right here's the seam between the two sections of layout. Right now, the only way you know there's a seam is by looking at the track where it's cut.
I know, that's amazing.
Yeah,
And,
did a good job with that.
Then like from this angle, I'll be putting in a lot more trees, but I'll be leaving areas open in some areas so that you can kind of look in and you can see deep into the woods. You can see rock. My still is still going to go in probably, maybe in this area or over here. I've got to figure that out. And I've also planning on putting a cabin in like right in this area here so that my guy that's going to be eaten by, or Shannon, who's going to be eaten by the bear eventually, has a place to live. So I'm going to, probably buy a cheap old Plasticville cabin for right now, just as a placeholder, so that I've got a spot dedicated to it and I can put the scenery around it until I can scratch build a real cabin at some point in time. But we'll have the cabin here, the still over there, and then, you know, a lot of this is going to be, you know, dozens more big, tall pine trees and probably a few deciduous trees in different areas.
How many trees do you have so far, Bill? Have you counted?
Probably 200 plus would be my guess. You know, and that's just kind of where it's at this point in time.
And you still got a lot to do.
Oh yeah, you know, I figure I'm probably going to put in at least probably 100 more on this side, if not more than that. And then I have, you know, I've still got the other complete section that I haven't even started scenery on. So, you know, I'm going to have probably 300 more scratch-built trees on this before I'm wrapping it up, would be my guess.
So you could have like maybe 500-600 trees.
Easily, yeah.
I really like that through there, Bill. I love that cut.
Yeah, this is a nice. I like to have the garage door open and then I can see it better. I'm just going to leave the tunnel portal as a rough rock cut. Still got to do some finish work inside. I've got to do a little bit more staining, and I'll put sort of some backdrop stuff to kind of darken it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rock work in here I really enjoy.
You know, they did that too. Any place where they had solid rock like that, a lot of times they didn't have a portal on them.
Yeah, I was going to put a portal on, but this particular engine, my 10-wheeler, is my biggest behemoth on this layout, and I can get it in through that tunnel portal, but I can't put any timbers around it. Otherwise, you know, the engine hits them, because I tried just to see if I could put some rough timbers in. That ain't going to work.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I've been up to this past
Wow.
week and a half off and on as I've been doing stuff here. But
I love it. It looks incredible.
Yeah, it looks really good.
yeah,
Man.
Makes me go up to my layout and shake my head going, this didn't look that good.
yours looks
Hey,
Well,
Claude.
It's just different.
I got to work on different wiring. Like I've still got to I got a drop cord coming off over here, so I've got to step lightly to get to the other side.
Hey, Claude.
Yeah.
Steve Anderson wants you to check the Back on Track email. He wants to get a hold of us.
Okay. What is he, a tax collector or what?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, don't fool for his trick
Yeah, that's
or
correct.
fall for his trick.
I get a warning message. It says, be careful with this message. Steve Anderson has never sent you a message using this email address.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Spammer.
We could be in trouble.
He needs details, contact information for when I'm going to be there, when we're going to be at Train Mountain.
Tuesday the
I'll send
28th.
that to you after the show. And I'll send you my phone number if you want. You can call me or my email, personal email, and you can hit me direct up and I can give you all that information.
Well, Jason says, be careful. Steve is a super secret agent, and he's not sure what agency he's with.
I don't know where this audio problem's coming from.
I don't hear it.
I do.
I do too. And I heard it when Bill was talking. And I hear it now when I'm talking.
I don't hear it.
Let me kill my mic and just see.
Hey, Bill, Rob T-Man says that's the best looking realistic tall tree layout he's ever seen.
Thank you.
I agree.
I would agree.
You know, that's, you know, building your own trees, it gets you away from, you know, the store-bought stuff, which you can only get about like 8 inches high. Like we've talked on this before, a lot of the trees I've got are 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 inches tall is the tallest ones that I've been building, but I could build higher.
Well, he says he needs an exact count. Will you count them all right now for us on the
No.
show?
Sometime I will actually count them again. Because
Might have caused a problem.
A running count on it.
Yeah, Jerry, I think you must have two speakers going somewhere.
No, I don't.
That's weird because when I muted you, it stopped.
I mean, I got two speakers across the room. Nothing different than I usually have.
Well, now I don't hear it.
I do. See, when you talk, I can hear it. But if I mute, see, I'll mute Jerry. Now talk, Steve.
Testing. Hello.
See, I don't hear it now.
No, I don't hear anything either.
But if I unmute Jerry, I can hear it.
Wonder why it's doing it.
It's a feedback of some sort,
And
but
not.
it's on your end because when I stop your mic, it goes away.
Oh, I don't know what could cause it.
Are you on a computer or cell phone?
My laptop.
Laptop.
What I'm always on. Nothing's changed. I mean,
Well, are you using the speakers on your laptop?
no,
You got those muted?
they're not even they're not even working.
Okay. Huh, that's weird. I don't know, but it's definitely an echo, kind of an echo loop.
Well, Allison wants to know if you have two windows open.
No.
It's open. That was pretty good.
Yeah, but Rob T-Man says I'm the only one that doesn't have feedback. I don't know.
But see, when somebody else is talking, like I say, I can hear it when you're talking, but as soon as I mute Jerry, it goes away. So you don't hear it now, do you?
No.
Yeah, it's when I mute Jerry. So it's Jerry's microphone is picking something else up, and I don't know. It's some kind of delay in it. It's what it sounds like, which is weird because it's not all the time.
Yeah,
Jerry Digger says to reboot your flux capacitor on your laptop.
it takes too long. I can just mute my mic.
Well, if it gets bad, I can mute you just while we're. Well, there you go. You can mute until you're ready to talk.
That's no fun.
We can lip read you, Jerry, and what you just said.
Well, you can write notes and hold them up.
I wish we could blame Heath on this, but it's not Heath's fault.
Oh, it probably is Heath's problem.
It could be.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's Steve Anderson. Maybe. Okay. He's here.
No, it's a speaker to mic issue. Exactly, Jason.
I mean, the only thing, nothing's ever has changed. It's the same setup that I always use. I mean, I can lower the speakers over there.
Well, see, now I don't hear
it. It may be a reboot type of deal that you'll have to do. It's probably a software issue more than anything else.
Well, I don't hear it now.
I do when you speak. I can hear it,
Oh,
and I hear it when I'm talking. It starts out low and then it gets worse.
Allie said,
anyway.
Do what Shannon does. Well, that's talk all the time, though.
He says he's sure somehow it's his fault. Yeah, well, you brought that on yourself, Heath. Anyway.
That's true.
So, yeah, well, I started on, okay, damn, my dogs are wanting me. I started on my cattle processing area. So I've been doing some of that work. And Dennis, last week, we ran trains after the show. Dennis was up there for an hour and a half just watching the trains go around. But because I did have the standard gauge where he could run trains on it. He kept trying to run the HON3, but I hadn't cleaned the track, and so it was not wanting to cooperate. But he was having a good time, it looked like. I still got to get an update out. I keep meaning to, and I instead of doing that, I start on something else on the layout. So pretty soon it'll be finished before I do another update. But I'm getting close to being able to start doing upper deck stuff. So
Yeah, yours is
that's
looking
kind of
really
exciting.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. The stuff that you've got up there looks super. You need to do an update. Yeah. Put
It
it
still
out.
needs a lot more detail on the bottom, but that's all kind of can be put in after, people and cars and all that kind of stuff can be put in after the upper deck goes in.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's half the fun, is that you get an area where it looks good and you can run trains and you can see things and it looks nice. Then you go back in and you do the super detailing on it.
Yeah. I just don't want to make any more trees. But I need a lot more trees on it. So yeah, it needs a lot more trees. That's the thing. You make a whole bunch. I remember one day I sat and that's all I did was make those trees. And it's not hard to do. And I made about 150 and I put them on the layout and I'm going, well, that doesn't look like I put 50 on there, much less 150. Yeah, it's crazy how many trees it takes to make it look like nature. Yeah. And of course, I'm just using Woodland Scenics trees, so they're not real big anyway.
Yeah, but you're right. To make the scene look like a wooded area, it's more than one tree. It's more than 3 trees. It's more than 20 trees, even for a real small area. You look at it real life, you start counting trunks and you're into the, dozens real fast in a very small area.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, really tough to get enough on there. But my backdrops, the good thing is the backdrops are photo backdrops and they're at fairly high altitude. So the trees are not as thick as they would be, say, at, down low, lower altitudes. But it still takes a lot of trees, even when they're sparsely populating the area. It still takes so many trees.
There, I'm going to make steam.
Now, if I'd have made them like yours, Bill, it wouldn't have taken as many because they're a lot wider than mine.
Yeah, that is an advantage. And some of the small pine trees that I've been playing with, I'm going to go back on my HO scale layout. I'm going to replace some of the store-bought ones with those. Because you can get them make them a little bit more scale so that they're wider and they take up more space. And they don't look bulky, but they occupy more territory.
Yeah.
So Claude, how much money do you think you spend in trees?
Me?
Yeah.
Really not that much. I've got about,
I don't know how many come in the packs, but
the main ones I'm using, there's like 44 on the bigger trees. There's 44 armatures in a pack.
Oh, okay.
And the pack's $15, something like that. The smaller trees, the ones that are 2.5 to 4 inches tall, there's like 70 armatures in there, and it's about the same price. And then your foliage, I just bought some big bags on eBay. Somebody had 2 great big bags of the conifer green clump foliage, and I took that, and then the clumps that were too big, I just put into a blender and chopped them up a little finer so that they would look a little better, and then sprayed them with glue and put the foliage on them, and then just got to glue them in after that. But it's still, it still takes a while to do, and to me, it's kind of tedious. Yeah, I mean, my hat's off to Bill because he's such an artist with them, and I'm not into the tree building that much. I love the look on the layout, but building each tree to me is not that much fun. I had more fun doing the aspens. And I used the same armatures. I used pine tree armatures and painted them white, took a marker and put the black marks on them that you see on aspen trees. And then Woodland Scenics makes this, it's a fall foliage material, but it's like it's on a mat almost. And you can cut pieces of that off and just wrap it around the armature, and it looks pretty good. The color is real good.
So, Bill, have you ever made trees like Claude's made?
Yeah, a little bit. Some of the deciduous trees, on the HO scale and N scale are Woodland Scenics trees. So using the kits, and that's a lot of what I used over there. And then I went back in with super tree material and added to it so that, again, the layered look where you get all kinds of different textures. But yeah, the HO is sparsely populated with trees. There's a few woodland scenic. Some of my scratch built deciduous trees are over there. But the N scale is pretty much 99% store bought, or again, super tree material that, it doesn't take too long to finish when you're at your workbench.
Yeah. Yeah. And on the pine trees, on most of the pine trees, not all of them, of course, I was using spray glue on them. And I would take, before I put the foliage on, I would take a little bit of blended turf and put around the trunks and get a little bit of texture that way on the trunks, especially the ones that were up at my eye level where I could see them real well. Some of the small ones, I don't bother to do that because you just can't see it anyway.
Yeah.
But
Bill,
the
between
ones
your
I did
three
do
layouts, how many trees do you have on the HO, N, and HO?
The N scale, probably about 350 or more trees on the N scale. I did count them at one point in time, and then I gave up after I started putting super trees in all kinds of different areas to kind of flesh it out. So there's well over 300 on that one. The HO scale is not that many, probably 20, 30, 40 trees. Some of those are JTT, the small trees, like foreground trees, and then a few scratch build, and then some woodland scenics and some other brands. And then again, the ON30 here, probably at least 200. I did do a quick count a little bit ago after Heath put the challenge out. And just from where I'm sitting and what I could see, a quick count is on this side is about 85, 90 trees. And then I've got, that many more on the other side. So, 200 is probably a pretty accurate guess.
Yeah. And it's, and it takes a while to build them. I've still got to try that style though, like you do with the wire. I won't make them as tall as that, but I'd like to try that. The only problem is I'm going to like them too well, and I'm going to want them all to be like that. And then I'm going to have to pull all the trees that I've got on there off and put new ones on.
Well, there you go. You've got a winter project for like the next.
And then I'll be cussing you. So when your ears start burning, it'll be me.
Cost. Jerry, you were asking Claude cost. Like the scratch build, I find super cheap actually. You have an initial investment in getting, like the florist type wire that's got the wrap that I use, grapevine wire, rustic wire, depends upon where you get it. Furnace filter material, you buy stuff in bulk, woodland scenics, ground foam, the static grass and all of that. But, the cost of the trees are, to do it yourself, literally the big pine trees that I'm doing here cost me a little over $1 in materials to build them all.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
It takes time, like to Claude's point, in the evening after work, I'll come out, for an hour or so and, start to work up a batch, do the trunks, like I did and I've showed in different videos. And now I've got to start doing that again because I'm out of trees. But, it takes time, but the cost is worth it. You can do a forest and it doesn't break the bank. And then again, you get the size that you want because these are all bigger than anything you can buy, store bought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How long does it take you to make a tree?
The longest part of the process is gluing the trunks together. So that takes some time because I'll use super glue to glue the three pieces tends to be how I do it. Super glue them together. Then I put the carpenter's glue on, and then I top coat it with Woodland Scenics ground cover. Whatever happens to be earth color is what I tend to use. That process will take a while, but I can do it in batches, and I can do it in batches of about 15. So one night I'll do 15 trunks, get them ready, start the first glue. The next night I'll add additional wood glue and roll them in more Woodland Scenics. The third night I'll do that. So generally about 3 nights I can get about 15 armatures done. To actually build the tree, to cut the furnace filter material, get it to shape, glue it on, and do the paint, and then do the Woodland Scenics initial flocking, then the haircut, then come back in with the static grass. I can build a tree in about 10 minutes to get to that point where it's finished. Let the paint dry after I spray paint it. That part goes super fast. It's just building the trunks that takes time.
So, Bill, and I know you've probably answered this on your videos where you've done your trees, but do you spray paint your filter material before you put it on the tree?
After.
You put it on after you do the tree.
Oh,
Yep. So I'll take the furnace filter material, and in the raw, the green color for the stuff that I'm using, I'll cut it to the rough shape. I'll glue it on with super glue, and I use like rapid fuse, not pushing a product, but it works actually better than super glue, and it's quicker to set. Glue it onto the trunk. I haven't spray painted the trunk of the tree yet either. Then I'll take everything outside once I've got that part done, and then spray paint it. And then right now I either use like a camo brown, can't find that paint anymore, but I use like a primer finish, which is a dark walnut. So I'll spray paint it all at one time. The paint soaks into the natural fibers on the furnace filter material, so that off green color goes away. And then I'll come back in, flock it, and then I'll give it the haircut where I, just chop the bejeebies out of it. And, but then all of the stuff that falls is already spray painted, it's already colored, it's already flocked with this scenic material, so I got ground cover out of it. So yeah, I'll paint it all when it's all on the tree. It just saves a heck of a lot of time.
So you're just putting the ground cover material on when you do them on the trunks. That's just strictly for texture.
Yep. Texture, and it's the green, it'll give it some back color, because then when I come back in with the static grass, I don't go crazy on the static grass. I give it a nice light coat so that you can kind of see it if you're looking at it close. But then the ground cover, the blended or blended turf is what I tend to use, gives it a nice greenish hue, different shades. And then the static grass kind of, complements it by showing that it looks like it's pine needles on them.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to try and remember all that.
It's in some of my videos. I show it.
I've got a Hobby Lobby just down the street and a Michael's across the street from that. So you'd think I'd be able to find that wire that you use, but every time I go in there, I forget to look for it until I've left. And it's like, oh man.
Yeah,
I'll get it next time.
If it's like the Hobby Lobby here, you go in, they got all the florist stuff. You hit like about their first rack of shelves where they've got the styrofoam molds that you poke stuff in. Mm-hmm. And they've got the grapevine wire about halfway down that aisle, along with some of the other florist wire. It's in small rolls like this, so you kind of have to look to see. Well, last time I went there a few weeks ago, I was going to get some, and they had it on there like 40% off deal. So I bought everything that they had, and it saved me almost 50% on the cost. So I've got rolls of it for the next batch of trees I'm going to come up with.
Yeah, Hobby Lobby is not the cheapest place in the world, but if you catch their sales, they can be very reasonable.
Oh yeah, you catch the sales, and you can get some heck of a good deals on stuff,
yeah.
Including the acrylic little tubes.
Paint tubes, yeah, you can get them for 75 cents a bottle sometimes. Yeah. And now what I noticed you can't get good deals on is their hobby tools and stuff like that. Those all tend to always stay high, but all this stuff, craft stuff that you put on things, you can usually find it pretty cheap.
Yeah.
At some point, they'll have a sale of some kind almost every week. But we had some more people come in. Hey, Brian's here, and Container Man's here. Good to see you, Roy. Well, he says you've been sick at home for the last week. Still not 100%. No bad jokes today. No, Shannon's not here, Roy.
Yeah, we had Randall Ellison pop in and Possum Bayou. Good morning.
All right, good to see you guys. Anyway, Dennis is still on Army duty, and Shannon's probably sleeping, I'm assuming, since he's not here. But anyway, yeah, I've got to build some more of those. I've got to build some of those and see if I'm just afraid if I do it, I'm going to want to change them all. But I would do it because if they look as good as yours, it would be worth doing.
Yeah. Well, see what you could do if you try it and you do like them. You keep what you've got, but then you just use the ones that you've built as the foreground trees, and then the rest of them just sort of fade into the background. So you're not needing to replace everything. Just
but see on my mountain
stuff.
My mountain, everything's foreground.
Well,
because
yeah,
it's right there.
You'd end up replacing it then.
Yeah, I'd replace all, especially on the mountain. Now the ones like say I've got the long steel trestle where I've got some of the aspens coming, and I tried to get them to look like they were coming from the backdrop forward. Those I probably wouldn't have to change, but I think the ones on the mountain, if they look good enough, I'd be going, oh, I'm gonna have to change them all. But anyway,
worse things could happen.
Yeah, it's coming along though. I'd like to say I've got to get an update out. I keep saying that, but I keep putting it off. But I got to get that done. So
yeah.
Anyway, so what else we got going in the chat here, guys?
Everybody's
Roy not feeling good. Oh, here we go. Bernard says, Bill, maybe you could do another how-to for us with CRS.
What's CRS?
I'm not quite sure. I know what OPS is. That's old people syndrome.
Yeah, I've got that one already. So
yeah, I do too. Yeah, tell us what that is, Bernard. What's CRS?
Yeah. What's CRS?
Oh, I remember now. No, he can't. Don't type that out, Bernard. I remember what it is now.
Oh man,
It's can't remember. You know.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I knew I recognized it. I just couldn't remember what it stood for.
Well, that's a byproduct of OPS.
Yeah. Well, it was funny, Bill. I noticed on your video that you posted last night, you put in the title "Recovering from COVID" or whatever it was after your battle with COVID, and they put the nice little banner underneath your video because you said COVID on your your title, and it got you.
Yeah, because I put the video in earlier in the week, and just had it set for debut, last night. And as soon as I put it in, it's like I saw that banner and it's like, and then they had a thing like, why are you seeing this? So I clicked on it. It's like, COVID disinformation, blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, fine. I get it. But I'm leaving my title the way it was.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny because I pulled the video up and that's the first thing I noticed was that banner.
Oh yeah, it's a big banner that really.
Oh yeah, yeah. They want to make sure you see it. And every time I want to complain about it, they can do the screenshot and you can't complain about it because it wants to do the whole screen. As you draw the line around it, but then it doesn't take what you put in that line. It takes the whole screen.
Yeah,
which is kind of silly, but anyway,
that is what it is.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny that they nailed a model train show for talking about COVID.
COVID
disinformation. Mention the word in a title or probably even a description, and boom, it's there.
Oh yeah, it was algorithm that got you.
And Roy, I do not know where my re-railer is. I have no idea. It's in there somewhere.
I actually gave Dennis one last week. He had been looking for an HOM3 re-railer and couldn't find one. And I had looked about a year and a half ago, and I finally found a hobby shop, I think in New Jersey, and I ordered 2 of them. I had to modify it to get it to work really good, but it works good now. And so I gave him my extra one. But yeah, he'd been trying to find one, and I just happened to have 2. So he's got
the funny thing is the red one that Shannon sent me, I've lost that a long time ago. That never did show up. I have no idea.
It's probably there in the dust on your layout.
No, I think I probably accidentally threw it out, if you want to know the truth. It probably fell in a garbage bucket. I threw it out.
Yeah, that could be.
That'll happen.
I've been there before.
Let's see.
What else we got in here?
Well, he says, Jerry, he likes the image and frame in the background. Yeah. It's right over your head. That way.
Oh, on Jerry's?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
well, he said put his re-railer in a safe place and he hasn't found it yet.
Yeah, thanks, Heath. I don't. Why? What kind of an N scale re-railer?
Well, now I know a good N scale re-railer because there was a Cowboy re-railer in that bunch of stuff, and it was phenomenal because it clips onto that and it doesn't have to be Cotto track, but it clips onto that N-scale track where it's there. It's not going to move while you're putting your train on. And I wish they were all like that, because that worked really well. I wanted to show you guys something that I've got here that I ordered. See if you can see what that is. Yeah, it's not going to focus very good. Anyway, they are electrical insulators for telegraph poles. There's a guy on, and I don't remember his name, on YouTube, not YouTube, PayPal, eBay, that offers these. They're 3D printed, and he's got several different styles. So if you got a particular style you want, but I got these for the telegraph poles that'll go on the layout a little bit later. But he also has Coke bottles and beer bottles and stuff like that that he 3D prints. They look pretty cool. Anyway, I just thought I'd show those since they're sitting on my desk.
How do you paint a little tiny Coke bottle?
Well, you wouldn't need but a drop of paint, or not even a drop of paint, just to barely touch it. But I've got some really thin brushes to paint that small stuff.
Well, they need to be beer bottles, not Coke bottles.
Well,
Color of the paint make the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that I'll have actual individual Coke bottles on Earth. My son's building a brewery that's going to be on the layout.
I was going to say, put them with your brewery.
But I've got wooden kegs and stuff for him to do, but I don't know if he's going to do any bottles or not on that. But this was for the telegraph poles, because when we did the Cumbersome Toltec trip, you can still see the original telegraph poles in a lot of places. Now they're dilapidated and fallen over because they're not used anymore, but they're very simple. One pole, one cross member, and a couple of insulators on them. And some of them, they still had the wire wrap to them and, hanging on the ground too. But it was pretty interesting because I thought, no, that's going to be something I definitely have to put on the layout along the line of the train, because that's where they would have put the telegraph.
Yeah.
There where it was easy to get to. So, and they were, 20 yards off the right of way. So they were close enough, but not too close. What else are they talking about here?
Re-railers.
Oh, Rusty's got 2 re-railers, can't find one at any given time. Look in your hand, Rusty. That's usually where mine is. I was telling Steve I was playing golf yesterday, and we pulled up close to the green. I knew I wasn't on the green, so I had to chip on the green. So I grabbed my clubs, and I'm looking for my putter, and I can't find my putter. And I thought, man, what did I do? Leave it? And I'm looking in the front of the cart, thinking I had it up there, and all it. It was in my hand.
OPS.
Yep. I thought I'd pulled the wedge out, and it was the putter that I pulled out. And the wedge was still in the bag. So the brain goes pretty much with my golf game. Kind of non-existent sometimes. But anyway, nothing more fun than getting old.
It's
I
not
think
fun.
a few things.
What else they got on here? That he's talking about something about his DCC.
Yeah.
Can I find a DCC track tester that I have?
And Heath asked Claude, were you puttering around?
Yeah, I did. I actually puttered around pretty well. It was getting to the green that was the trouble.
Oh, that's interesting.
I would play good and then play bad, and then play good and then play bad. So
Brian says he stopped using re-railers. They don't work on curves, and he doesn't have any straight track.
That's true. They're hard to use on a curve.
Yeah, you're all curves, man.
Yeah, but he's still young and got some eyesight. See.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school and I had my layout in my room. I didn't have a re-railer then either, and I could reach over and stick it on there and it'd be on there. I can't do that anymore. And the HON free stuff might as well be N gauge. For the size it is in my sight, it's just hard to get a narrow gauge truck to go on the track. For some reason, they don't want to cooperate.
even on this ON30 here, same thing.
Yeah.
HO scale trucks, but trying to get it on the track, the older I
Well,
get, the more difficult. And even
It's
the
because
O
the side frames are so much further in than they are on the standard gauge. On the standard gauge, they're almost out to the outside of the car. So I always just put my fingers down on the side frames and get it right on there. But you can't do that with narrow gauge. You have to look at it, and that's one thing I don't like. But anyway, that's just part of getting old, I guess. Bernard says he can't golf anymore. What do you say here? Can't get it up here. Can't golf anymore, but love to drive the cart. Have the cold one in hand. Yeah, well, we had plenty of cold ones. That was the only thing made playing bearable.
Well, no wonder you lost your putter.
Yeah, no, I didn't lose it. I had it in my hand. I just didn't. I lost where it was.
You misplaced it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it was pretty good weather here. We've been having so many high winds and rain this spring. And when I say high winds, I'm talking 40-mile-an-hour plus. It's just been blowing like crazy. And the last 2 days have been really nice. Do what?
Been the same thing here with the wind.
Yeah.
Been nuts.
Really crazy. I'd hate to see that wind when there's forest fire.
Oh.
It would not be a good thing.
No, they move pretty fast.
Yeah. So what do we got on time? We still got about 9 minutes left here. So what are you doing, Jerry? Turn your mic on. Tell us what you've been doing.
Nothing.
You haven't been doing any more on your layout?
Nope.
On your coffee table layout?
No, that's Rick's layout, but no, I haven't been doing nothing on that either. Nothing. I got nothing. It's you guys that do everything. I'm just here.
You're just hanging out.
Yeah, that's it, pretty much.
Allie says she likes my excuse. I didn't lose my putter. I lost where it was. There you go. Well, I didn't lose it. It was in my hand. What else we got here? Oh. He said 45-mile-an-hour wind in the desert is a breeze. Yeah, I understand that. It can be a breeze here too sometimes, especially west of here. You get out where Dennis lives in Fort Supply, out on the Panhandle, where there's a little more elevation, and it's all prairie out there. There's not any trees out there, and it blows like crazy.
Hey, Claude, do you use a golf cart or do you walk?
Oh, no, I use a golf cart. I'd love to be able to walk.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I've got the neuroma in my feet, and in fact, my left knee's been bothering me here lately. I've been wearing a brace on it. So, I don't know that I could make it all the way around anymore without it just really getting me. It's bad enough just playing anymore.
Yeah.
But I'd love that. They've got these little carts now. You set your bag on them, and I think you clip a deal on your belt, and it follows you. You don't have to drive it. You just walk along, and it comes behind you like a caddy, which is, I would have loved that 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't walk the course right now. So.
Oh, I got my trucks are done for my tender. I was telling Claude that. My machinist sent me a picture yesterday that they're all done. He's going to be shipping them out this weekend. They look nice. They look really good.
Yeah,
he's got
find that picture.
He's got 71 and a half hours of machining in those trucks.
Oof. Okay, here we go.
And he did it for $300. I did the math, and he did it for $4 an hour.
Wow.
I mean, it's like if I'd have paid minimum wage, they'd have been $1,000 to machine those things.
There they are, right there.
It's awful small. You can't see it.
Can you not see it?
Very
Let's
small.
see if I can make it bigger. How's that?
Yeah.
Still small.
I don't know. On my phone, they're like a half an inch square.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, they are nice looking.
No, they turned out great.
Good looking arch bars, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're one of a kind. They've got all friction bearings in them. So, yeah, I can't wait. That's why this thing's upside down, because I'm getting it all ready to put those things on. But,
Oh, here we go. Dennis showed up.
hey,
He used
Dennis.
sawdust from his roadbed for bark on his trees and attempt the boomer method of tree construction. Oh yeah, boomer dioramas, I think is who he's talking about.
Yeah.
And the sawdust he's talking about is from masonite hardboard that he's making this roadbed spline with. He's a glutton for punishment, I think. But
Jeez, yeah.
I thought about that for about 2 seconds of doing a spline roadbed, and I thought, no, not with me doing it by myself.
I think Dennis just likes using his ready alarm saw table.
Cut and create sawdust.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
masonite dust. Because when I cut for the backdrops, it is really a fine powdery type mix. It's about the same consistency as Woodland Scenic's, earth turf. So probably get the same results out of it.
What's a spline roadbed?
A lot of work.
Yeah. It's where you cut strips of hardboard or thin pine and 1.5 to 2 inch wide and however long a piece you can get, and you put several of them together. And so to make curves and stuff, you put them in, you glue them, and then you clamp them in that position.
The
advantage
of
gives you
that.
It gives you
advantage
roadbed
of it
just
is
where
you
you're
get
tracking.
really nice sweeping curves. You get just realistic looking curves, and you can kind of place it around things where, like, most people do in Bill, you cut your plywood and it is what it is once you put it on your risers. But with the with Dennis's method, you can bend it and really shape it to your layout. But
The
it's
only problem is you got to bend it before you glue it. You can't glue it and then bend it.
Yeah.
Now you could do it like I used to laminate elevators and rudders and stuff when I was doing airplanes with balsa wood, thin pieces of balsa wood to make the outline piece. And we'd take and put pins down on the plan, and I would take these thin pieces of balsa wood and put wood glue on them. I'd soak them in water first, put wood glue on them, and just saturate them with the glue, and then bend it around, and then leave it overnight. And when you come back out the next morning, you've got a piece that's that shape. And you can use a form or whatever you need to do on it. But that gets you some of the really hard curves to do on some of the World War I planes like I used to build. So you can do that with the train, but it's much tougher. You've got to curve it in place and pretty much build it in place as you go. Especially if you're using 8-foot long pieces of spline. But it makes a good roadbed, and then everything off the side of that is free for scenery. So you can do, canyons or whatever off the side of the roadbed. Your plywood is not in the way.
So Dennis,
that's an advantage to it.
Dennis, do you have video of you doing this?
Kind of. Yeah. Yeah, he did an update where he was kind of showing where he was bending his spline roadbed. So yeah, a little bit.
Al, yes, I did, Al. I got rid of all that stuff, so don't have any more. Thank goodness I can get my shop back in order. Because if you saw last week when Dennis was talking about I had a hobby shop in there, no, it was more like a trash dump. But that's just where I had all my rolling stock and stuff stacked on the shelf out of the way. But everything else in there, when I brought all that stuff over from her house, I had no place to put it because we were building models in there, and so I had to move all that stuff out of the way to bring the other stuff in. And now I've got all the empty boxes and all that kind of stuff still in there, so I've got to get in there and clean all that out. But there again, I procrastinate and don't do it. And so it's still a mess in there. But anyway, that's our hour, guys. Good to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah.
And Steve Anderson, I
Yeah,
will send you an email here in just a few minutes.
And I promise I'll do an update really soon, because I haven't done an update in a while.
I may actually get enough gumption up and do it today, and I got to go up there and straighten up just a little bit before I video it, but I may do that today.
It'd be easier to show it on an update what I've done and haven't done with this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, get some meatballs to go with that spaghetti mess you got on that
Oh
thing.
God, yeah.
And everybody will know what I'm talking about when they see the picture.
It is a spaghetti mess too.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for
guys
showing up. Bill, glad you're feeling better.
Yep.
Yeah, me
Jerry,
too.
take care. Yeah. And we'll see you guys next week.
See y'all. Take
Later.
care.
Bye.